So could you introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Yeah, definitely. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fer Velazquez. I am the Commercialization Manager for Life Sciences at the University of Sheffield. That means that I work with researchers and academics on how they can use the research to create impact. And that can be through commercialization in the shape of a license deal or forming a spin-out company.
Excellent. So yeah, a bit of background. How did you get to this point in your career? How did you get to this role?
It's kind of an interesting journey, I think. I came to the UK in 2017 to do a master's in biomaterials and regenerative medicine. So I was working with squishy thin cells, I call it. So it's kind of this scaffold made of polymer for osteoarthritis. And then I started my PhD, and whilst I was doing my PhD, I got in touch with the what is now the Emerge team, so Entrepreneurship Sheffield, and I was working with them as an intern. So I got to know, opportunities related to commercialization, not necessarily of university IP, but just, staff and students that have these really cool ideas, and we just kind of help them to look into their potential. And then I thought, well, that looks interesting. Why don't I do that with my research? So I joined the program at London Business School that mixed MBA students with researchers. And it was really fun because, completely different mindsets, but it helped us to explore the potential of my research. And actually we pivot into the lab-grown market. So I thought, this has been great fun. I would like to continue doing this. So I got in touch with the commercialization team just to explore this further. And I worked with them for a couple of months, and they had an opening in the kind of the engineering team. And I said, well, I might be able to do this for a living. I really like it. and I jumped to the other side. So let's tell it that I joined the dark side of of things.
So what do you enjoy? I mean, what do you enjoy about it? Because you obviously seem quite happy in your role at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So I think for me, the best part are to be able to work with great technologies, great innovations, and researchers that are really willing to do something positive in the world. So, it's that kind of really impact-driven. They want to see things, the environment, they want to see that there are benefits in it. They want to make things cheaper. They want to make things available for more patients. And I think that having the opportunity to work with those great scientific advancements and potentially, I didn't come up with something too novel. Otherwise, I would be making my own company. But I think supporting them through that journey, what I found very interesting, and as well the breadth of opportunity. So I was working within the engineering team for 2.5 years, and now I'm working as well with life sciences. But we have projects related to batteries. Then we have things related to lasers and very complex stuff. We have deep tech. We have things related to small, molecules and these tiny structures that can help patients with all types of conditions and diseases. And then we also have quite a breadth of opportunities in kind of social sciences and in, very interesting and multidisciplinary applications. So I think that I really like having visibility of a variety of opportunities.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not an academic, but it's nice to not necessarily be a part of it, but to see how a project will go from just an this could possibly change the world in a few years' time. With
exactly.
Fingers crossed kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think you get to see from the inception of the idea, and then how that pivots and is changed by what the market needs and what the patients and the companies tell you that they want, and how that idea is shaped into something that is very useful for them. So definitely something that I really enjoy.
So you kind of touched on it there, how you've spent some time in engineering. Now you've gone over to life sciences. What are there any differences between the kind of like the commercialization? If there's not, I can just cut this question out. But is there any differences that you've spotted as you've worked for both of those departments?
No, definitely. So I think both of them, there is great appetite to create innovations and things that create a big impact. I think both mindsets are towards that way. What I find with engineering is that they usually tend to go to the world and identify problems and then build solutions that can solve those problems. So it's that, it's what we call kind of that market pool. So it's a problem that's already identified. People know that there's that problem, most cases. And then you come back and say, well, I created something that is better, faster, cheaper, shinier if needed. I think with life science, there's a lot of things that come from fundamental research. So it's exploring these, again, small molecules or these tiny pieces of protein, and then it's going out and identifying where the applications can come in. And I think that a little bit of that change, it takes a little bit longer for them to identify potential customers or identify how the technology can be implemented in some applications. The other element is regulatory. So, life science is tightly regulated. And then there is quite a lot of work that needs to be done, first in understanding the regulatory pathway, depending on those applications that they want to focus, being it plants, animals, health. And then going through those hurdles. And that requires quite a lot of funding and external resources as well.
Yeah, we have one of our projects. She's looking at doing scaling up phage therapy and getting that past. I can't remember what it's called, but the sort of like the regulations to get that therapy as a therapeutic, is really difficult. So she's working with CPI at the High Value Manufacturing Catapult, and she's just trying to make sure it's easier, I guess, in the future.
No, definitely, and everything has to be GMP, and how they expect that to be under those standards.
So you touched on it a little bit before. Impact and commercialization, they're really, they are the main point now of research, huge parts of research. Can you tell us what the University of Sheffield offers those who are looking to make the next step in their journey?
Yeah, no, definitely. So we do have, I must say that we do approach commercialization a little bit differently than other universities. So each university will have their own kind of frameworks. We have designed something that we call the commercialization journey. Our framework is very innovator-led. So, we are happy to work with researchers, academics in any stage of their careers. They can be very early stages. Actually, we work quite closely with PhD students, early career researchers, and then, later on lecturers and all type of levels of professorships. And it's really about supporting their journey, supporting their, they are the ones who are driving the technology, and they're driving the market engagement, and they're driving the formation of either license deal and spin-outs. So we are very there to kind of mentor them, to coach them, to provide them resources and tools to do that. The benefit, we definitely recognize that is for the people who join the whole journey from start to the end. But even if they don't become the CEO or CTO of a company, or they don't become millionaires from the license deal that they make to one of the companies, there's still benefits in terms of grant funding, applications. And, now that it's kind of a section that is included in applications, is being able to understand who might benefit from whatever you are creating or your projects, and then also identifying other sources of funding, and as well different routes of career development. I think that is also quite interesting for especially early career researchers that are trying to build very robust careers. So I think that is where we play a little bit of a role. Yeah. And the way that we do that is we have internal training. We provide one-to-one support from commercialization managers like myself, with different areas of expertise kind of allocated to the projects, and we support them all through the journey. And we also have internal and external funding opportunities. We can support the application to those fundings and accelerators and programs, including investment. And we have a big new mentorship network that, people that engage with us, they're also very more invited just to engage with it. And we have the Sheffield Spin-out Network as well that, there's a kind of events of trying to bring people together that have similar interests in commercialization, and that they are different stages.
So I know there is a commercialization journey website or page on the University of Sheffield website. So I will link that in the description of this podcast. So if anyone wants to, go towards that, then they can. From your side then, from the university side, what would you be looking at sort of in terms of a project that might want to scale up? What's the, I guess, the criteria, if there is one?
No, definitely. We're quite flexible in that, in terms that we will help you to look into those elements. It might be that at the moment you just have an idea and you think that is different from something else that already exists or that has already been published or already been patented, or the way that it works in the market. So we're really just looking for that idea and understanding, and then we're looking for someone who's willing to put time and effort on discovering the potential of that opportunity. We go back to that kind of innovator-led principle of, we're here to support you, but we will find ways of maybe buying some of your time out for you to focus on it, but we will need someone that drives that, and that can be you, that can be somebody else in your research team. So we have people that approach us when you have a PI and you have maybe a PDRA and then you have a PhD student, and the three of them complement each other and support that. So I think team is one of the most important aspects. And one of the first things that we will explore is the market. So there needs to be a market need. There's going to be someone who wants to have or buy or acquire or have access to whatever you are creating. And so those are the two principles.
Brilliant. So in terms of where we're at then, the Innovation Launchpad Network Plus, we have 107, I think is the last number of researchers, early careers researchers that are kind of, some of them are starting their projects now, some of them are coming towards the end of their projects. So do you have any advice as a commercialization manager for what they should do next in terms of scale up and commercialization?
Yes, so I think that this is a really good time for them to start identifying those problems in the world, and just kind of look at how things can be done better, and again, faster, brighter, or just different. And I think that is very useful because it helps them to also identify people they can work with, and that can be other research organizations, but it can be the industry. I think that now there are quite a lot of opportunities for early career researchers to build their careers around innovation, not only about all the kind of traditional ways of outputs like publications, which completely valid, but I think that now other ways of innovation, like getting spin-outs or contributions with the industry or impact cases, they are recognized as well as career development. So I think it's keep your eyes open for those opportunities, give them a go. I think the worst case scenario, you maybe lost 6 months, but learned loads on the way. So definitely,
do you see any trends in commercialization at this moment in time?
Yes, so I think that there is a big push for that kind of net zero and sustainability from different angles. So we see projects related to energy saving, but also waste management. So there are very interesting projects, for example, that they are using bacteria, specifically cyanobacteria, for carbon capture. So you can see the mix of both kind of biological approaches and then engineering ones. And on the other side, there's a lot of recent funding going into translational research for healthcare. So things related to dementia, Alzheimer, Parkinson, but also, as always, cancer and neurological conditions. But then everything around that, so well-being, and how that affects all these conditions from different perspectives. So I think that there is, definitely a push on both kind of patient-driven and the other one on kind of how to make the world a little bit greener and safer.
Excellent. So I have one final question. This question it's a bit of a pop quiz question. What is a spin out that you wish you'd thought of yourself?
It's a very interesting question. I don't think that I might have the name of one, but I do like all technologies that have to do with kind of agri-tech. So again, I think that the one that recently had caught my eyes, and it's moving to Sheffield Technology Park, so I'm giving a little promotion here into into company moving there. But they're working with cyanobacteria for carbon capture. So I thought, that's a very nice approach into kind of again, biology with engineering and the chemical part of it later on potential markets. So I do like multidisciplinary technologies, and there's some other ones in terms of battery technology. So one of our spin-outs are spinning out hopefully in the next couple of months called Amplify as well. They're exploring porosilicon for decoration of anodes. I think those they're really interesting as well, a lot on battery and how they can work together with the supply chain. And there's quite a lot of battery things around. There's also other people working with algae as well. Which I think it's again, it's really cool from the science and then the application side. So it just looks fun. I think that I would love to be involved with some of those.
All right. Well, thank you so much. if anybody wants to get in touch, should I point them towards the Sheffield University website? I don't want to put your email in case you get loads of emails saying, help me out with my journey.
No, definitely. Yeah. So the commercialization journey, well, we do have, I think the commercialization journey website is a good one. And then there's some section, let me see if I can send you that link on the team specifically. So, if people have areas that they want to get in touch, they can just get in touch there.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much.
No. Thank you, Paul, for getting in touch. Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.